little, I never ever had a pillow slip when I was little. I never even had a pillow, me. I never. I used to use my father's army coat rolled up. And all the buttons used to make holes in the side of my face. And all the kids used to laugh.
Pauline Petty, born in Scotswood, where consumption claimed her mother and sister. She herself faced personal tragedy, but she believes what I've been through makes me what I am. Scarlet O'Hara, on stage, laughing at life.
When the American soldiers used to come across this country, we were just young, weren't we, lasses? We used to have some fun, didn't we? We used to get the pure silk nylons with the black seams at the back for nout off the Yankees. Well, not exactly for nout, like, we used to get it off. Yeah, I got 6 pair one night. And some chewing gum. Well, I started late in life, I suppose. I was about 26 when I first started to do the clubs. I always used to fancy myself as a bit of a singer, you know, and get up in a local pub to give a song for nothing. And one day I got the chance to do a booking at a club in a few miles away, you know. And I went along and bundle of nerves, no music, one black dress. Did 3 songs. They sort of seemed to like me, but my nerves, you know, legs were like jelly. I was shaking out, God. And then I took a couple of bookings after that. It has been a long, long, drawn-out step up the ladder. I was born and bred in Scotswood Road, the Rye Hill area, and very proudly so. Great people around there. The memories I have, you know, I recollect. But it's amazed me how much has changed, because it's years and years and years since I came to see this area. And when I look at a little bit of old that's left and basically all new, you know, it's very emotional. It takes me back. I remember the first day I ever went to school. One of the few recollections I had of my dad, because he left my mum when I was only very, very small, was my first day at school. I was about 4 1/2 or something like that. And he walked me down Rye Hill to Cambridge Street School for the very first day, left me there. People nowadays, you know, they go about the knit nurse. I remember one day there was only 2 out of the class taken away. It was me and this other little girl, and they'd had to shave her head because it was in such a diabolical state. She had these 2 ribbons, you know, sort of on each side of her head. And she was in tears because they had to put the bandage on her head, and she was crying. She would get into trouble off her mum for taking her ribbons out. So they got these 2 bits of hair, these 2 little bunches, stuck them outside of the bandages and tied the ribbons back on. Well, it looked so funny. She looked like a rabbit, you know, but they're happy memories. We used to play games in the street, Tin Can Tommy. And it wasn't just 2 or 3 kids played together in groups. Everybody in the street played together, knocking 9 doors. And you know, when you used to tie the cotton on people's front doors, if it was daytime, you tied white cotton. And if it was night time, you tied black cotton. You should tie it very quietly on the knocker. Run away with the reel in your hand, stand round a corner, pull the cotton. And before they got there, you used to snap the cotton and away. And they used to think it was ghosts, you see. I remember V-Day, the end of the war. And everybody was so close, you could go next door to the neighbour and borrow something, you know. All the mothers used to get the sheets and take the kitchen tables and carry them out in the street. And some of them would say, we'll make the buns and we'll make the mince pies. We used to make flags, you know, and strew them right across the street. And it wasn't just a street, it was one big happy family. I remember one day I was only 6, my father was on the dole again. My mother says, Pet, I'm getting a bit worried. She says, we're getting some posh people coming at 6 o'clock. You better go down to the corner shop and buy your toilet roll. Seven o'clock, they never come. She says, take it back and get 2 tea cakes. There's 2 clubs, you're going to go to either one of them. And Mary Smith's on one, and Scarlet O'Hara's on the other. You don't know which is which. Well, where do you want to go, you would say? And where will you go? You'd go to see Scarlet O'Hara because it's psychology. It's an outrageous name. You've got to be an outrageous person to be able to carry a handle like that, but I suppose I'm an outrageous person. Ron's my 3rd husband. He's my right-hand man, actually. I couldn't tick without him. I love cooking, you know. I wish I had more time to do it. Basically, I'm a plain cook. Mince and dumplings, pie, apple pies. I've got 4 fantastic kids and I love them. I would love to spend a lot more time with them.
Squeaky, come on. Squeaky, squeaky.
Right, tell Kerry and your dad.
Your dinner's ready. Your dinner's ready.
On a Sunday lunchtime or on the main meal of the evening, it's about the only time, now that I'm so busy, that Ron, I and the kids can get together. It's the nice part, it's the family part, the kids coming in from school.
Dean, do you want a bit more cabbage?
Thanks.
Good for you.
Should we do one a little bit, Kerry?
Thank you.
She'll not eat cabbage. Dean's only getting about his meat with mushrooms in.
Don't like mushrooms.
He doesn't know what's good for him.
One time and says he'll eat the old pie.
Should be able to eat like our Tracy can eat. She's a good eater.
Get in and get yourself to bed early.
Have you seen the state of his new shoes?
I've seen him.
Soles on them.
I know he's only had them a week.
It's not
He's
my
got
fault.
another
They're
pair and
faulty.
get
They're
them took back
faulty.
because I'm not.
They're faulty.
Dean, when we were little...
The faulty, they come straight off. That's 3 pair you've had in, what, 5 months? You don't look after them,
Because he
man.
plays football and that's why.
Sick of them.
Should we get some football boots?
To get pair of sand shoes.
Get some football boots.
Got football boots?
Paint
You haven't
your
got
feet
2
black and
pairs,
your
pair in
shoes.
the cupboard.
Bit more meat or anything.
Don't like steak.
Oh, just now.
You don't like the steak? What's the matter with it, like? Suppose you've had no Mars bars or anything today.
I had a lot at dinner.
Make an effort.
Wasting time talking to me because of the same every time, man.
No, but if I put a
Eats
plate of
nothing.
chips down, you'd eat them, wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know who my man thinks? He looks like Clark Gable. See him with their pet, that's my man, him. Got the best job in the world, you know, he's been on the door that long against the staff dancers.
Just cut it out. I'm down here. I can hear you getting on of us now. Lay off. I'm not deaf. Cut it out.
What's the matter with you?
Right, what's the matter with me? Lay off.
What's the matter with you? Was it something that said like?
I'll tell you what's the matter. You get on to me. What about your father? He's been on the dole all his life.
My father's a tradesman, he's a joiner.
Why, he's a joiner. He'd join anybody in a bar for a free drink.
Hey.
What do you want now?
You're getting on about my father?
Yeah.
What about your father? He's never worked.
What you on about? My father's an electrician.
I knew his first bloody shock.
David, don't have 2 minutes now, lay off.
My second husband, bit of a funny lad, really. We were at a club one night, somewhere at Ashington, and I was up and I was singing this particular song, and it was Danny Boy. And I'll never forget, because it was Christmas Eve, and there was a matter of about, a quarter of a club full. It was a filthy, snowy night, you know. And halfway through the song, the sound seemed to diminish. And I thought, what's happening to my microphone? And as I turned my head, there was Tommy, halfway out of the club with one of my speakers. He's unplugged me, and as I'm still singing, he's disconnecting the gear and taking it out. And I said to him, what are you doing? He says, I don't like this club, I'm away. I always sort of enjoy working the clubs on the Teesside circuit. The Western Club's a new club now, a fantastic place. The beauty of it is the quality of the people haven't changed. Working class people like myself.
I think you just go to a club and you do an hour spot and that's it. But you might be an hour and a quarter on the road by the time you get to Middlesbrough. Then you've got to set up, do your show, and by the time you get back home, it's about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I like to sort of keep going around, you know. I think if I was static in the club, I feel as if I would lose touch with everybody, you know. Sort of like to keep in touch with the public and keeps me on my toes.
Now then, tonight you're on Teesside. Are you going to have to sort of consciously try to change your accent or anything like that?
Well, you don't actually change your accent, you sort of slow down just a slight touch that nobody else would notice. Because the Geordies, the real Geordies, are inclined to talk very fast, you know. Just slow it down a little bit, that's all.
2, 1, 2, 4, 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 4, 1. 1, 2, 1.
First of all, you must get the audience's attention without sounding big-headed. If you can sort of look attractive as you come on, you draw their attention straight away. Then it's very important, the first few things you say. We all have a few sort of throwaway settling down gags. That's to get them to actually look around and say, oh yes, there's something happening on the stage type of thing. When I die, she said, I'd like to come back as a pig. No, he says, you can't come back as the same, you have to come back as somewhat different. So to get our own back on him, lasses, to get our own back on him, right? She said to him, Geordie, what was that awful noise you were making when you come in here last night? He says, I'm sorry about that, pet, but he says, I was in a bad mood. You see, Hinny, I've just getting the sack. She says, I already know about that. He says, how do you know about that? She says, a foreman come round yesterday. He says, a foreman, I've told you never to let that man in this house. He's only after the one thing. She says, I know, and you start back on Monday. Then there's another man coming up to us, he said, Scarlet Pet, he says, if I was you, I'd get out of here quick. I says, what for? He says, in 2 minutes' time, a wagon's going to run down a hill, crash through the wall, and kill everybody in this pub, and he went outside and I followed him. 2 minutes later, the wagon come down the hill, crashed through the wall, killed everybody in the pub, except me, because I was outside with him. He says, you've saved my life. I says, how did you know that was going to happen? He said, it's easy, I'm a clairvoyant. I says, I wish I could be clairvoyant. So I'll come round my house at 8 o'clock tomorrow night and I'll teach you. So I gets there about 20 days because I was keen to learn. I says, right, I'm here. I says, what I have to do to be a clairvoyant? He says, stand over there and take all your clothes off. I says, here, I can see what's coming here. He says, see, you're halfway to being a clairvoyant already, aren't you?
It's the way she looks at life and the way she puts it over. It's no good cracking a good joke if you mistime it.
I was lying on the beach in my three-piece bikini.
I think a comedian finds it more difficult than a comedian.
She just said to her, what was the coke for?
If she's dressed too glamorous, she gets the bird in some sections of the crowd, because if a man might laugh, you know, and might look at her, his wife starts with a left-hand shuffle, you know, didn't laugh at all. Isn't it, can't laugh at all? What's the matter? Do you fancy her better than you fancy me? See, they don't laugh. She's got that to put up against, and she's got to be dressed glamorous.
It's nice, isn't it? It's quite nice to heart the cave. Yeah. My friend Denise, very, very good friend of mine, she's got very, very good dress sense. She knows what colour goes with what colour, or... She usually gives me her honest opinion.
Do you like the cave?
Mm-hmm. Try that out?
Mm-hmm.
See what happens. How are we going to try them out? Well, what do you think?
I like the skirt, but I don't like the top.
Do you like the colour?
The colour's nice.
It's a possibility. Do you like these bits around?
Yeah.
Is it... I'd have to take it up a bit though, wouldn't it?
Is that open? Is that split right down?
It's open. Not open. Yeah. But I'd have to take it. It's a bit long, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Possibility?
Yeah. I like that.
Smart, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit big though. I think I could
Take it in.
I'd have to take it in, wouldn't I? Quite a bit. Huh.
Or buy big and I can lend it.
Oh, buy it big and you can lend it, yeah. It's a bit big on the waist, but it's classy, isn't it? I mean, it's me. The second husband was killed in a car crash, and I just thought my life had come to a how much more can I take type of thing, you know. The baby was only 8 months old. The other kids were all at school. I just moved to a new council house, and I knew very, very few people. And I was sort of so alone, and the car was a write-off, and I wasn't covered with insurance for life insurance and such like. And I didn't think I could make the effort to go back to work. But I feel sometimes like one of these little plastic clowns, Kevin, you know, the ones that you keep pushing down and they just bounce back up. I think this has been all my life. You know, you get knocked and up and knocked and up. I think I've just learned to live that pattern and take it. What's that, huh? What's that?
I'm changing with the prices wide now, though.
She's getting fat, isn't she?
She's right, she's a pup.
Uncle Bob's always been part of my life, all my life.
We've been selling flowers before Christmas. I was doing well with them paper roses.
Where'd you get your privet from?
Anybody's garden. I don't get much in this. Oh, yeah. Hey, Slippy.
Cold this morning, eh? I used to go out with him on the rag cart. In his better moments when he had a little van, we used to go out collecting scrap, batteries. I got to know all the other hawkers and ragmen, and I was sort of quite proud to be one of the clan.
Any rags? Any bits of scrap around?
A cup of tea wouldn't come in wrong. The most important part that Uncle Bob ever played in my life was when I lost my second husband. I felt sort of so utterly alone. He knew my need was so great. He came to me one day in such a way and said, "That's about it, Uncle Bob. I need looking after. I'm not getting any younger. I'm not getting anything to eat." And of course, because of the love I had for him, straight away I thought, well, he needs me. And it gave me a great lot to occupy my mind, just for the fact that he had to have his shirts washed and his socks washed. And it took my mind away from my tragedy, for the fact that I could do a little bit of good for him. Not much about, Bob, is it? See, there's not much about.
No.
Whoa.
Must be 11 o'clock now, mustn't it?
I'll have a try this side. You got any rags today, Pat?
Yes, so few, yeah.
Oh, thanks, honey. Ta. Thanks, Pat. Ta. You know when he come in with a cart? He had this, like, stable thing at the back, you know, and he used to tip the cart up, you know, tilt the cart on its side, tip all the rags in the stable thing. You should save them up for a week, you see, then he would weigh in. And me and Sheila and Kathy used to go raking around the rags, honestly. Fighting, didn't we?
That's where you got your clubber from. I never bought any.
Did, honestly.
3 months ago, she gave us these shoes, and she said the cost, they were modern, she said they cost £28. And I looked at them, they would cost 28 quid. So I says, what are you parting with them for? She says, well, they're too tight, and my husband bought them. I says, what are you going to tell him? She said, I bought another pair, and I'll tell him I've took them back and swapped them. The goldfish was the best when they come on, wasn't they?
When you used to put the goldfish for rags,
We used to get bread, crusted bread, put it in the oven and crust it, and crunch it up, and put them in little packets, and sell it for fish food. Well, the bread used to kill the fish. We go back again, and my fish is there. I've got some more, go and get some mullins.
I'm just getting 2 new neighbours, you know. I'm just getting 2 new neighbours. Because neighbours is handy for borrowing off, aren't they? These 2 what's moved in next door to me because I live in a council house. I've just been down to complain about my roof. I said, what's the matter? I said, I'd like one. In fact, look, lasses, I'm going to tell you the truth. I was standing in the post office last Tuesday. I was stood in the queue waiting for my family allowance. Because I've got 4 bairns. I'm not married, but I'm not bloody miserable. When I was a kid, you know, when we lived in Scotswood, it was always our ambition to go to the seaside, with bucket and spade and jam sandwiches and a bottle of pop. Never got down very much because, well, for one thing, we couldn't afford it. It was quite a distance from Scotswood to Whitley Bay. I never get much chance to go now. That's so busy, just an odd occasion now and again when I do get a little bit of time to myself. Just going down with the dogs on the beach, that's about the nearest I get to the seaside. the dogs, Stucky and Ming, they've brought each other up really, you know, there's only a year's difference between their age. I really do love animals. It doesn't matter whether it's cats, dogs, anything furry, anything helpless. This is the table for the Morpeth people, is it?
Yes.
My bus is on the way anyway. Is the chef coping in the kitchen, everything all right? Good.
We generally have our teas made wireless on.
No, I know.
So I said they got the best looking ones at the buses. The good looking ones.
We work as a big team, all the staff and I. And on the day of a show, we build up to a climax. There's the meal to see to, we like the room to be as nice as we can possibly make it. We like it to try to create a lovely warm atmosphere. The difference working in my own club is that it's like having two tape recorders inside of your head. One's playing on your act and the other's playing on the problems that you possibly could have. I hope that the beer's not going to go off. I wonder how the chef's coping downstairs.
Is everything all right, love?
Could have done with a bit more stiff.
A bit more stiff? Oh, well, you're a big lad, aren't you? Yes, no. Did you enjoy it, Pat?
And the fairies come and took all his tea then.
Is the mic all right?
Yeah, it's all right.
You got the echo on?
Yeah.
Are you sure now?
Yeah, it's all right. It's all ready.
Together, welcome on stage, the wonderful Scarlet O'Hara.
Thanks so much. Hello, everybody. How are you, man? Bloody hello, man. Yeah. It's like my new frock, lasses. Like it? Got it for Christmas. Page 47 off Kay's catalogue. You know the hardest thing about being a comedian, you know, for a woman to be a comedian, like is sometimes I meet people, you know, what keeps trying to drag me down. I'm trying to be a star, you know. Somebody had come up to me and said, "Did you not used to live on Scottshead Road?" I did, mind, when I lived there it was rough. It was that bloody rough, the rent man come round the tank. He was a German, they called him Karlbach. I can remember one day my mother sent me next door with a wet flannel. You see, the wife, will you rub a bit of soap or not? It's getting worse, man, it's getting worse and worse. It's all right for the men sitting there, them supply the money, us has got to worry what to get. You're sitting there, lasses, a week before Christmas, biting your nails. Worried you've got now, you're in a hell of a hole. Took Alka-Seltzers and Valium for your nose. You're just about to cut your wrists. You see, yes, I'll not get depressed, I'll get some debt.
It's difficult, it's still difficult on the aspects to making people laugh. The downfall of things that are happening with strikes and the shortage of money. Some people think, well, what the hell is it to laugh about anyway? But I love the challenge. Go out there, go on, get in. And if I've done it, honestly, it's not just the money, it's the achievement of me having lots and lots, and you believe me here, lots and lots of problems I've got in my life, still got. But if I can just put them at the back of my head for an hour on stage, smile, mean it, and get that audience, that's worth everything in the world to me.
This is my life. I don't give a damn for lost emotion. There's such a lot of love I want to give. Let me live. Please This is my